Good afternoon or good morning, everybody. This is Roaming Prepper Channel. I'm your host, Pete, and today is another technical topic I thought I'd share with all of you. Now, this is actually part two of the upgrades I'm doing to a very old or older Mossberg 500. So I'm going to give you a quick look at the firearm, and then we're going to go into the modification I'm going to do. This will be on the front end of the weapon as opposed to the back end. So I'll be right back and let's talk about that. Welcome back, everybody, and thanks for joining me once again at the Roaming Prepper. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you'd like to share, that's always appreciated. And of course, any questions you have, I normally premiere these videos. If I'm not in my own premiere because of work or some other commitment, feel free to hit me up on the chats or in the comments below the video. So the firearm in question today will be my Mossberg 500. If you saw the first video, you'd know that I bought this from a teammate in one of my old guard units. Actually belonged to his brother, who had an extensive collection of tactical weapons, and both were military guys. And his brother had passed away and left him a slew of firearms, and he's like, dude, I can't keep all these. So I actually wound up with this bad boy for a really good deal. He just didn't have room, so he kept the ones he wanted. So originally this buttstock was actually a T-stock, so it had the stock and a pistol grip, but it was not adjustable. The original owner was like 6'4", big, tall, thin guy. So his length of pull, which is basically the distance from the back of the stock to the trigger, was much longer than mine would be. He probably had several inches on me. So the original video, we shortened the stock. Now we're going to go work on the front end, and I'll show you why I'm changing out this front end. So I've already loosened it just to make my life easier in the video. But as you can see, it has a tactical light assembly on the front, which looks all nice and cool. This is a very old design. As a matter of fact, the company that makes this fore end with the light on it no longer exists. So it was bought out by another company, but here's the problem. The way this is designed, I don't know if you can see it right here, this is the actuating strip. Unlike the newer tactical flashlights where you can turn on, off, strobe, or quick on, quick off, like flash it, this doesn't have that option. When you grip it, and you can see it turns on. You let it go, it turns off, but you can't pump the shotgun without hitting that pad. So the minute you start to manipulate the shotgun, the light automatically comes on, and there's nowhere I can grab it if I don't want the light on. There are going to be cases where you just don't want to turn on a light. You don't want to reveal where you are, and the way this is designed, the strip runs the entire length of the foregrip. So there's nowhere I can grab it where I'm not hitting it, and the placement of it is such that I can't pump it without turning the light on. So I could be in broad daylight and try to pump it out in the country at a pig, and I'm turning the light on every time. Another problem is the batteries are a pain in the butt, and the third one is I can't find a replacement for this particular light. So I decided, and I'm kind of limited with replacement bulbs. I just can't find them anymore. So this is not the way I want this. So what I've done, I went to Advanced Tactical, and they have an alternative foregrip. And this one, actually is ATI, or Advanced Tactical Industries. As you can see, it's more standard foregrip. It has the big knob on the front, but if you look right here, you'll notice that there is a little place for a hex tool to go into. I can undo the hex tool, and underneath this little cover is actually a small mil-spec rail, a tack rail. and it's about, let me see, it's about 2 inches long, if I'm guessing right. So I can put my choice of light or laser sight on it, and I'm not constricted to this. So the first step you needed to do was to make sure the weapon was clear, which clearly it is, and check your chamber as always. Nothing in the tube. So I've already checked it, but for the sake of the video, I'm going to do it again. Now, what you do, there's a slip ring that goes over here. So once you've made the weapon safe, you remove your screw up here, and ta-da, off comes your barrel. And for the Mossbergs, it's best to have it, the pump kind of in the center point, not all the way back, not all the way forward. Now, as you notice, I have the heat shield on this barrel. I'd like to keep that if I can. So this fore end that I'm about to mount should fit the bill for that. Now, from here, you use a tool such as this, and you slide it over and you back out the nut, which I've already done. So as you can see, the nut's there, and this comes right off. Now, when you buy this part, it actually instructs you to pull the rails off and pull the trigger out and everything. You actually don't have to do that depending on the model of Mossberg. One of the reasons I like the 500 is, as you can see here, which was an issue with another model, you notice that this is the base of the pump. Here's the tube. Notice that it has double rails, and they are roll pinned as well as welded into this portion here. So it's reinforced. I've actually had a Stevens shotgun that I won at a clay shoot. It was tack welded here on only one side. And I fired about 10 times, and the pump and the entire slide, or the pump action and the grip, all came apart over the tube, but there was no way for me to disassemble it, and I had a live round in the chamber. So eventually I had to completely pull that weapon apart, and nobody knew how to fix it. No gunsmith I knew could fix it because it was so badly made. So if you're gonna buy a shotgun, they don't cost that much more. Get a Mossberg or Remington, or if you want to go higher end, Benelli and Beretta. Don't touch freaking Stevens shotguns. They're garbage. They're absolute crap. Mine failed. I fixed it. It failed again, and it failed catastrophically the second time. I'm done with that brand. So just my personal warning on that brand. I've owned multiple Mossbergs for over 22 years, and I've had no issues. So that's the end of my rant. Moving on. So I've taken the foregrip off, and now what I'll do, I'll simply take this, the new grip, and slide it over. Now, just a heads up, there are 2 different types of Mossbergs. There's a 6 3/4 and then a 7-inch and change variant, or 7-inch tube. This one's actually the longer one. So I'll put this over, and I'll just slide it over there, and you make sure it fits nicely there, and it's flush. Now you notice up here, there's a bit of distance between this portion of the foregrip and the threads. So ATI includes this little insert, which is basically just a glorified spacer, and you put it in there, and now ta-da, it's fully mounted, and now you put your screw over, and using your tool, you find the grooves and basically tighten. And folks, that's pretty much all you need to do. Now, I'm not going to fully tighten this right at this moment because I actually, hopes if I get it threaded right, huh? There you go. Let's try that again. See, engineering failed. This is what happens when you trying to do things backwards. You thread it in, and it will eventually seat. Now, I will say I like this tool because it does have these holes in the body. So if you're having trouble tightening or loosening a bolt to get a foregrip off, you can actually run a hex wrench or a screwdriver through that hole and kind of use it as a lever. And I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna over tighten on this one because I'm gonna actually pull this apart and put a little bit of this stuff to give it some extra grip. I'll do the release and you reinsert your slide. And I did look at the reviews before I purchased this one, and several people said that it fit with the heat shield. And I'm just gonna function check now. So clearly you can see it does indeed slide forward. It's not impeding, or the heat shield is not impeding the foregrip and the pump, nor vice versa. So there you go. And this is now what it looks like. So I took away the pistol grip stock. I put a 12-inch length of pull, which is a little short for me. It's functional for me. I can use it, but it is, and a great way to measure length of pull, and this is just from the skeet shooter side, is you put the edge of the shotgun into the crook of your elbow, and your hand should land right on the grip. So you notice when I put my elbow and my hand comes over, my hand's a little bit past the trigger guard. So this is a little bit short for me ideally, still functional. But part of the reason I went a little bit short is that my wife is tiny, but she does know how to use a shotgun. And my daughter's shorter than me. And even though she doesn't live here, she does visit, or we visit her. She also knows how to use the shotgun. So I went a little short for me, but functional, so that the ladies can use it. And it's not to where they can't function the weapon. So again, went with the slightly shorter stock. I did put the sling brackets. I have not mounted a sling yet. I am a fan of a sling on every long firearm I have, just because it just makes sense in my mind. But there you go, that's it. Now I don't have a light selected for the bottom here, so I'm just gonna leave it intact the way it is right now. And I now have my upgraded defensive shotgun. You notice, like I said, I've shortened it, and I took the light off. I'm gonna mount something different there at a later time. But now I have the option of putting a light that I can control and doesn't turn on every single time. And also, as I said, I can't find this light anymore. And unfortunately, the manufacturer that bought these guys out does not offer an LED option that I can unscrew this and put maybe a more modern light on it. I don't have that option. So I'll find another purpose for this, or I may sell it. I may ship it to my brother and he can try and mount it on his Mossberg. He may like it more than me. I'll find a home for it eventually. This won't go to waste. And if you guys are like me, you probably save your firearm parts. But in any case, that's it, folks. So the only thing I'm going to do off camera is I'm going to disassemble again, and I'm going to put a little bit of Loctite on those threads and screw them back in so I get a good tight fit. And then I'm going to go shopping for a sling, so this can also be my my backpacking shotgun. I've shot slugs out of it. I've shot buckshot, 4-shot, and I've even tried to shoot skeet with this thing, which is not what it's meant for, and I shot terribly. And I'm a skeet shooter's one buckles every now and then, so I'm pretty damn good at that, but not with this thing. In any case, yeah, that's it, folks. So when you do these kind of mods, I would encourage you, get your hands on some snap caps. And so this is a dummy shotgun shell, and this is a snap cap. These cost a little bit more, not much, but if you notice, this guy has a spring in the middle of it, and it actually has a fake primer. So when the firing pin hits this, it actually gives a little bit. It has a little bit of play to simulate hitting a primer. The fake shell, on the other hand, is just a solid plastic nub. I don't like practice shooting with these or pulling the trigger. You can use it to function the shotgun, but I don't like pulling the trigger on this because my firing pin's hitting solid plastic, and it doesn't have the give, the simulated give that the spring action does on this one. And you can mess up your firing pin. So just something somebody told me happened to them, and it was good advice. So I got some of these. So I'm going to tighten that back down, let the glue dry, and then I'm going to load it with these snap caps, and I'm going to roll through it. I'm going to fake shoot and reload and make sure everything works the way it should. And first chance I get, I'll bring it to a live fire range after I function tested it and make sure everything's hunky-dory. So that's it, folks. That is the last of the upgrades for now on the Mossberg 500. Great shotgun. Like I said, Mossberg, Benelli's, Berettas, and Remingtons, you can't go wrong. Personally, I've seen 2 Stevens shotguns fail. Pump shotguns fail on the range. Mine failed with a live round in the chamber, and I had to disassemble it and put tools to it to get the live round out. It was not an optimal situation, and I actually wound up just putting it to a blowtorch. I destroyed the weapon because I didn't even want to sell it. I didn't want to give it to anyone else. So yeah, I destroyed that thing. So in any case, folks, you want to make a mod, make sure you get a good fit, clear your weapon, and then test it before you try to fire it. And snap caps are a great idea. Anyway, folks, that's it. You guys be good, be safe. I hope you found this interesting. And if you have any questions, put them in the comments below. I will see you all on the next video. Take care.